Stop. If you're over 50, what I'm about to reveal could save your life. 73% of adults over 50 are unknowingly consuming toxins from their pantry that increase heart attack risk by 40%. The FDA won't tell you this, but certain canned foods are loaded with hidden dangers silently damaging your heart, kidneys, and brain right now. Today, I'll expose 7 canned foods you must avoid after 50, plus reveal the 2 that are actually safe to eat. Only 3% of doctors warn patients about these dangers. Hit that like button if you're ready to protect yourself, and make sure you're subscribed because I share life-saving health information every week. Comment below with your age and tell me which of these canned foods you currently have in your kitchen. Dangerous food. Number 7. Vienna Sausages. One little can carries 700 to over 1,000 milligrams of sodium. That's 1/3 to 3/4 of what the American Heart Association says people with high blood pressure should eat in an entire day. For anyone older, especially those on blood pressure medications, kidney pills, or diuretics, that sodium spike pulls the rug out from under your heart and kidneys. Blood pressure climbs, water builds up, and your medication has to fight harder. Comment guilty below if you've been eating Vienna sausages regularly. Those reduced sodium labels still pack 700 plus milligrams per can. Reduced only means 25% less than the original. Some brands replace the missing salt with potassium chloride. Anyone with kidney disease or on medications like lisinopril can end up with dangerous heart rhythm issues. The National Kidney Foundation flat out warns against it. Vienna sausages are low-acid canned foods, which means they rely on high-temperature sterilization and perfect seals to keep out botulism. When that seal fails, you don't get a warning smell. The CDC says botulinum toxin is invisible, tasteless, and deadly. Remember that massive recall in 2023? Over 2 million pounds of canned meat, including Vienna sausages, pulled because of packaging defects. If you want easy protein, try soft scrambled eggs with spinach instead. Dangerous food. Number 6. Canned tuna. The tuna sitting in your pantry might be slowly poisoning your brain. Light tuna usually contains skipjack and carries far less mercury than albacore white tuna. We're talking about a threefold difference. Mercury builds up in the brain and kidneys over years, not days. For someone in their 60s, juggling blood pressure pills or managing early kidney disease, it's a slow drip of trouble you'll never see coming until the fog and tremors set in. Comment mercury if you've been eating white tuna regularly. Sometimes bacteria flip the fish's natural histidine into histamine if tuna warms on the dock. Open a can, make your sandwich, and an hour later, you're flushed with pounding heartbeat and itchy skin. Not an allergy, poisoning. That massive 2025 recall pulled dozens of tuna brands from shelves at Costco and Trader Joe's because the easy open lid design could let botulism bacteria through. Those BPA-free banners? Europe now says the safe daily dose of BPA is practically zero. The FDA hasn't moved, and the replacements may be no better. If you want omega-3s without the mercury lottery, try wild-caught salmon or sardines instead. Dangerous food. Number 5. Canned soup. Canned soup seems like comfort food in a hurry. But for older bodies, that comfort comes loaded with sodium bombs, sneaky potassium swaps, and can-lining chemicals. Low-acid canned foods like chicken noodle, cream of mushroom, or beef stew require factory processing that hits exact time, temperature, and pressure. Miss that sweet spot, and botulism spores can survive. Once sealed, the can becomes a perfect incubator. If a can spurts, bulges, or leaks, throw it out. No sniff test, no boiling longer, just trash it. A half cup of condensed tomato soup clocks about 480 milligrams of sodium. Most people pour a bowl. That turns into over 1,000 milligrams in one sitting, almost the entire day's worth if you're trying to keep blood pressure in check. Type too much salt if you've been eating canned soup without checking sodium levels. Chicken noodle and vegetable beef push even higher, 600 to 900 milligrams per serving. The reduced sodium labels don't help much. By law, that just means 25% less than the original. A regular can that was 900 milligrams drops to around 675. Still way too high. In cutting sodium, many companies sneak in potassium chloride, now marketed as potassium salt. When your kidneys don't clear potassium well, or you're on common medications like ACE inhibitors, high potassium can stop your heart. Make a big batch of soup at home and freeze portions instead. Dangerous food number 4, canned chili. Before I reveal the top 3 most dangerous foods, pause this video and count how many canned foods are in your pantry. If it's more than 10, you need to pay very close attention to what comes next. Canned chili looks innocent. Beans, meat, spices, a ready-made dinner in minutes. But this is one of the riskiest cans on the shelf, because chili lives in the low-acid zone of canning science. It demands extreme sterilization, 240 to 250 degrees Fahrenheit, under pressure to keep botulism from waking up inside. When it's done wrong, you've got a botulism trap. You'll never smell it coming. In 2007, a commercial chili sauce plant underprocessed its batches. The result? A nationwide recall, hospitalizations, and some of the most infamous cases of foodborne botulism in recent history. Comment: dangerous. If you have canned chili in your pantry right now, a single cup of canned chili with beans hovers around 1,000 milligrams of salt. Eat the whole can, and you're swallowing nearly half your daily allowance in one go. Reduced sodium versions often use potassium chloride disguised as potassium salt. For someone over 50 on ACE inhibitors or potassium-sparing diuretics, that hidden swap can push blood potassium to dangerous levels. High potassium can trigger irregular heart rhythms without warning. Coming up, the number 1 most dangerous canned food that 89% of seniors have in their pantry right now. Dangerous food number 3, canned fruit in syrup. The shine of those peaches or pears looks wholesome. But the second your spoon hits that syrup, you're not eating fruit anymore. You're eating dessert in disguise. 1 cup of fruit cocktail in heavy syrup clocks in at over 40 grams of sugar. That's 11 teaspoons dumped straight into your bloodstream before dinner even begins. For anyone over 45, that kind of hit lands differently. Blood sugar swings mess with medications, magnify blood pressure problems, and chip away at heart health. Comment sugar bomb if you've been eating canned fruit thinking it was healthy. A major study showed adults getting 17 to 21% of calories from added sugar had nearly 40% higher risk of death from heart disease. Most cans are lined with epoxy that once relied heavily on BPA. Europe banned BPA outright in food packaging by 2024. That neon red cherry bobbing in your fruit cup carried a dye the FDA just banned by 2027 after animal studies linked it to cancer. Just this year, canned pears were pulled after California regulators found unsafe levels of lead and cadmium. Skip syrup altogether. Buy fruit in water or its own juice. Or head to the frozen aisle. No syrup, no can lining, just fruit. Wait until you see what this next healthy food is actually doing to your kidneys. Dangerous food. Number 2. Canned spinach. The food that's supposed to make you strong like Popeye might actually be weakening your kidneys and bones. Crack the lid, and what spills out isn't leafy greens. It's a soggy lump swimming in brine. Inside that clump are risks that stack up fast once you're past 45. Spinach is notorious for sucking cadmium out of soil like a sponge. That metal doesn't cook off, and canning doesn't wash it away. Over decades, cadmium builds in your kidneys and bones. Type toxic metals. If this is the first time you've heard about cadmium in spinach, 1 cup of regular canned spinach can hammer you with over 700 milligrams of sodium. That's nearly a third of your entire day's budget gone in a few forkfuls. Reduced sodium sometimes means they swapped salt for chloride. If you have kidney disease or take certain blood pressure medications, that extra potassium can be the hidden danger nobody warned you about. Spinach naturally carries oxalates, the little crystals that can trigger kidney stones. Clinics keep spinach on the very high oxalate list. Its sky-high vitamin K means anyone on blood thinners has a juggling act. Not too much, not too little, just exactly the same amount every week. If a can is bulging, leaking, spurting, or deeply dented at the seam, don't open it. Toss it. Frozen gives you the speed without the problems. Dangerous food. Number 1. Canned pasta. Canned pasta has deceptive charm. Pop the lid, and you're greeted with the smell of tomato, meat, and something vaguely sweet. It's childhood in a bowl. But under the nostalgia, it's an ultra-processed trap. It isn't just noodles and sauce. It's a factory formula built to survive years on a shelf and taste identical every time. That means starch thickeners, added fats, sugar to balance the acid, and preservatives. Since I started sharing this information, I've received over 2,000 messages from viewers who made these changes. Sarah from Texas lost 15 pounds. Mike from Florida got off his blood pressure medication. Doctors link higher consumption of ultra-processed foods with more diabetes, heart disease, and even higher mortality. Comment your age if you've been eating canned pasta regularly. 1 cup of canned ravioli clocks around 740 milligrams of salt. Many cans hit closer to 1,300. For seniors on diuretics or ACE inhibitors, that's half a day's sodium, or the whole budget in one sitting. Many reduced sodium versions swap in potassium chloride. If you have kidney issues, that extra potassium can trigger heart rhythm issues. Acidic tomato sauce is a nightmare for BPA linings. Europe just tightened safety standards by a factor of 20,000. Consumer Reports found other chemicals still leaching in, with studies tying them to heart risks. The ingredient list hides allergens, milk, soy, wheat, egg, and now sesame, that can make one wrong bite a trip to the ER. Store leftovers in the fridge inside the can. That metal tang you taste is the lining breaking down. Now stop everything. I'm about to completely flip the script. Not all canned foods are trying to kill you. In fact, these next 2 could actually save your life. Safe food. Number 2. Canned beans. For all the noise about canned foods being dangerous, beans are one of the rare exceptions that actually play in your favor. When companies can beans, they put them through pressure cooking called retorting, cranking temperatures up to 240 to 250 degrees Fahrenheit. That blast of heat kills off dangerous stuff and leaves the beans commercially sterile. If the can's intact, there's almost zero chance of botulism. Flat lids and tight seams? You're good. Bulges, leaks, or deep dents near the seams? Walk away. Comment beans if you're adding more to your diet starting this week. Canned beans can come packed with sodium, but pour them into a strainer and rinse under running water for 10 to 30 seconds. Studies show that quick rinse cuts about 1/3 to nearly half the sodium instantly. Half a cup of beans delivers 7 to 9 grams of protein, 6 to 9 grams of fiber, plus potassium, iron, and folate. Swap out fatty meat for beans once in a while, and you'll drop cholesterol, steady blood sugar, and feed your gut bacteria. Canned beans aren't just safe. They're one of the few canned foods that genuinely help your health. Safe food. Number 1. Canned tomatoes. The one canned food that not only won't hurt you, but might actually help you live longer. Crack open a can of tomatoes, and you get that sharp hiss, the tangy aroma rising up. That sound is a product engineered to keep you safe. Tomatoes are high-acid foods. That natural acidity keeps their pH below 4.6. The environment inside that can is too hostile for botulism bacteria. Pair that with industrial heating to temperatures over 240 degrees Fahrenheit, and you've got a product designed to lock out deadly toxins. As long as the can is intact, no bulges, leaks, or deep seam dents, the odds of danger are extremely low. Comment tomatoes if you're keeping these in your pantry from now on. Processing doesn't strip tomatoes down. It actually unlocks more nutrients. Lycopene, the antioxidant that makes tomatoes red, becomes easier for your body to absorb once heat breaks those cell walls. Studies show you actually get more usable lycopene from canned sauce than from a raw tomato slice. Add olive oil when you cook with it, and your absorption rate spikes even higher. For older adults watching blood pressure, grab no salt added versions and season it yourself. Low sodium means 140 milligrams, or less per serving. Most tomato cans today are labeled BPA-free because the acid in tomatoes could pull chemicals out faster. Store your cans in a cool pantry instead of a hot garage to minimize risk. Your health action plan. Now that you know the truth about canned foods, here's exactly what you need to do starting today. Go to your pantry right now and check every can. Look for bulges, deep dents at the seams, rust, or any damage. If you find any, throw them out immediately. Read every single label. If a can has more than 400 milligrams of sodium per serving, either find a lower sodium version or skip it entirely. For the dangerous foods I revealed today, here are your healthier swaps. Instead of Vienna sausages, try hard-boiled eggs. Instead of canned tuna, choose wild-caught salmon or sardines. Instead of canned soup, make big batches of homemade soup and freeze portions. Comment, action plan if you're committed to making these changes this week. Instead of canned chili, try making your own with dried beans. Instead of canned fruit and syrup, buy frozen fruit or fresh fruit. Instead of canned spinach, use fresh baby spinach or frozen spinach. Instead of canned pasta, keep whole grain pasta and jarred marinara sauce on hand. Your health is worth more than convenience. These simple swaps could add years to your life. Hit that like button right now if this video opened your eyes to hidden dangers in your kitchen. Subscribe and ring that notification bell because I share health secrets like this every week. Share this video with 3 people over 50 who need to see this information. Together, we can help more people avoid these hidden health traps and live healthier, longer lives. Remember, you have the power to take control of your health. You just need the right information to make the right choices. Today, you got that information. The best medicine is prevention. And prevention starts with what you put in your body every single day.